Something strange happened on Raw last night. Something WWE didn't expect fans to catch. And if you were watching closely, you probably felt it. Raw wasn't just another episode. It was a night packed with hidden clues, emotional outbursts, backstage panic, and even a quiet reshuffling of WrestleMania plans that completely flipped the script on what everyone thought was coming. From Jey Uso's shocking meltdown to a WrestleMania main event quietly being torn apart. From a viral Paul Heyman incident that turned out to be very different from what fans saw online, all the way to a superstar WWE seems to be losing faith in, there's a lot to unpack. And by the end of this video, you'll understand how Raw laid the groundwork for storylines WWE hasn't even teased on camera yet. Jey Uso's night began normal enough. Another match. Another chance to redeem himself. Another opportunity to rewrite the narrative that's been slowly tightening around him ever since he dropped the world title to Gunther. But something changed the second he lost to LA Knight. It wasn't the usual frustration. It wasn't the quick shake of the head or the disappointed look at the crowd. This time, Jey cracked. The meltdown was sudden, tipping over the prime bottle display, snapping at ringside, pacing like he was ready to swing on anyone who got too close. Fans started whispering the same question. Is Jey finally turning heel? Social media lit up instantly, treating his breakdown like the beginning of a dark shift. But here's where things get interesting. While the internet is convinced Jey is heading toward a villain arc, WWE's real plan looks nothing like that. The live crowds still adore him. They buy the merch. They scream his name. They ride with the yeet energy like it's a movement, not a catchphrase. WWE would never willingly flip one of their top merch movers just to satisfy a small portion of online critics. If anything, Jey's meltdown is the opposite of a heel turn. It's the start of a redemption arc, one that WWE might be stretching all the way to WrestleMania 42. And when you look closely, the clues are already there. The frustration about Roman's shadow, the quiet comments about proving himself, the weight of losing the world title. It's all pointing toward a story WWE hasn't told in years, the rise of a fractured brotherhood. Jey and Jimmy have been separated long enough. The tag division is struggling on both brands, and WrestleMania is the perfect place for a reunion that leads to one more chase for the gold. If Jey is falling apart now, it's because WWE wants him to crumble before he climbs again. But Jey wasn't the only one whose night revealed something bigger. The real shock came from a match the company originally planned to save for WrestleMania itself. CM Punk vs. Braun Breaker was once rumored as a lock for the biggest stage of the year. But everything changed the second WWE announced that the match would instead happen on the January 5th Raw. Just a regular episode on paper, but a historic milestone behind the scenes. The Netflix anniversary show. The first full year of Raw streaming on a global platform. WWE isn't treating it like a standard night. They're treating it like a statement. Giving away what was supposed to be a WrestleMania main event on free TV tells you that the company made a massive pivot. Reports already indicate Punk vs. Breaker could still anchor the big event, but the vibe backstage suggests WWE is moving towards something even bigger. Roman Reigns vs. Breaker as a WrestleMania main event clash of generations. And when you add the rumor that Reigns is the frontrunner to win the Royal Rumble in just a few weeks, everything suddenly clicks. WWE is planning a youth movement, and Breaker is becoming the centerpiece whether fans are ready for it or not. But Raw didn't just drop hints about who's rising. It quietly teased the return of one of the most dangerous men connected to the Bloodline story. Jacob Fatu appeared in a blink and you miss it moment on the production truck. And Solo Sikoa's reaction wasn't subtle. Fatu has been missing for weeks after recovering from a dental surgery, but insiders now say he's only a few weeks away from returning to the road. His feud with Drew McIntyre was left hanging in midair, and WWE rarely drops stories without circling back to finish them. The moment his face appeared on that truck, fans knew something was coming. When he returns, he won't just pick up where he left off. He'll add a whole new level of chaos to a Bloodline saga that's already spiraling in multiple directions. That wasn't even the most chaotic moment of the week. An incident involving Paul Heyman and a young fan went viral and exploded across social media within hours. The clip seemed to show Heyman pushing a child who got too close to him backstage. The video hit TMZ. Fans were furious. Criticism poured in. Heyman's name trended for all the wrong reasons. Then the truth came out. New footage from PW Insider revealed that the original clip didn't show what really happened. The fan had actually pushed past several members of security and police officers. Heyman didn't touch him. He simply raised his hand defensively. It was a security guard behind the child who yanked him backward. The angle that went viral cut off the context. And WWE immediately defended Heyman, placing the blame squarely on the local security team. They failed to hold a barrier. They let a fan slip through. They created a situation where Heyman had to react without knowing what the kid intended. And once the full story was revealed, it became painfully clear why WWE responded so fast. They weren't about to let one of their most valuable performers get dragged for something he didn't do. But Heyman wasn't the only one under scrutiny. Gunther advancing in the John Cena tournament should have been a straightforward moment. He's a proven star, a former world champion, a workhorse, the kind of wrestler who could realistically retire Cena and not miss a step. But backstage, things aren't as clear-cut. Some people inside WWE aren't thrilled about the idea of Gunther being the one to close Cena's legendary career. They understand why he was chosen months ago. They know Gunther is the long-term investment. But they're nervous about the optics, nervous about the backlash, and nervous about whether this is the right time. If Gunther retires Cena, it'll mark the second legend he's put away after Goldberg. That's a massive responsibility, and WWE is questioning if their timing is right or if LA Knight is the safer option. On the flip side of uncertainty sits AJ Lee, whose brief return during the War Games build-up created a wave of excitement. Fans assumed she was back full-time. They expected to see her on Raw the next night. But she wasn't there, not because of heat, not because of disagreements, and not because WWE changed their plans. The truth is simple. AJ never agreed to a full-time return. She came in for the War Games story, added star power, did what she needed to do, and left without making a long-term commitment. WWE is keeping her appearances limited, not out of disrespect, but because the mystique around her depends on scarcity. If she pops up again, it'll be for something meaningful, not routine weekly TV. Outside WWE, there was even more shocking news. TNA quietly secured one of the biggest TV deals in modern wrestling history. Their programming is expected to land on AMC in 2026, giving them a platform that reaches millions of new households. It's a massive leap forward for a company that spent years clawing its way back into relevance. The deal signals a new era where more wrestling companies have the resources to grow. And whenever that happens, WWE feels the pressure to deliver even bigger shows, tighter stories, and more ambitious matches. But Raw itself offered plenty to talk about. The show opened hot with the women's tag division, something fans didn't expect to see WWE prioritize. Both teams were over with the crowd, and for once, the women's tag belts felt like they mattered. LA Knight's victory and advancement in the tournament felt like WWE finally pushing him at full speed. Gunther and Solo's heel versus heel matchup shouldn't have worked on paper, yet it became one of the most unpredictable matches of the night. Braun Breaker cut the strongest promo of his life, setting up a collision course with Punk that fans didn't realize was coming so soon. Dirty Dom continued leaning into the small details that make him an elite heel, proudly displaying the Cena side plates like trophies. And AJ Styles delivered a Styles clash so clean, so precise, and so perfectly timed that fans instantly called it one of the best spots of the entire year. The main event brought the women back into the spotlight as interference, chaos, and tension filled the ring. Judgment Day stood tall again, and the message was clear. Liv Morgan still has a role in the group, even after her return. It wasn't an epic show, despite what Triple H teased, but it was a night filled with momentum, real momentum that could carry Raw through the final stretch of the year. All of these moments, Jey's rage, Punk's new direction, Gunther's backstage hesitation, Fatu's looming return, Heyman's controversy, AJ's absence, and TNA's rise, created a picture that feels bigger than one episode. WWE is quietly shifting pieces for WrestleMania season. Storylines are being hardened, softened, or redirected. And Raw revealed something fans don't always notice. The company is setting up a roadmap for the next several months. The real question now is simple. With all these changes, surprises, and sudden pivots, is WWE rebuilding WrestleMania from the ground up without telling anyone? Because if last night was any indication, the biggest stories of 2025 and 2026 won't be announced with fanfare. They'll be hidden inside moments just like these, moments fans don't understand until the full picture comes together months later. So what do you think WWE is really planning? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.